I believe that supervision is really integral to the service we offer as spiritual directors. I would say the key element for supervision is that the spiritual director seeks out first their own counsel or their own noticing of what it was like when they were with a directee. They notice their movements, interior movements, what was happening. And then they examine and reflect on what happened there. And then, if they're going on to see an individual supervisor or a peer group, they've prepared a focus to bring. And it's always this focusing and reflection in service of the directee they've been with.
The content of a supervision session is not about the directee specifically, it's about what's going on in you or me that makes it difficult for us to stay focused and open to the directee rather than getting in the way ourselves or zoning out or worrying about something that happened in our life that parallels the situation they're describing. So could you give me an example for of something that you would be working on in spiritual direction and how it would be different in a supervision session? I mean, earlier you were mentioning something about your family or...
Yes, I remember very clearly an experience after my mother died. A directee came and had a death in his family. And I found myself, while I was trying to be with him in his experience, really pulling back into my own experience. And I struggled to stay attentive. So then when the session was over, I took this struggle I had of staying attentive to the directee, first into my own contemplative practice. And then I took it to my peer supervision group. And they helped me notice what was happening around my own grief and how really I was getting somewhat in the way of allowing the other person to express their grief fully. So I did two things. One was continue to work on this grief with my own spiritual director. And then, actually in this case, I told the directee that I too was struggling with some grief. And we decided we would continue, but it made it easier for me to stay with the directee.
So to step out of the way with your own situation.
What's been the most memorable part of receiving and involving yourself in supervision as a spiritual director?
Oh my goodness, I've been at this for so many years and I've had so many experiences. That's a really hard question, but I'm guessing something that's very stabilizing for me is just knowing that there is this community, this peer group that I can meet with. It's about 7 people, and 7 people aren't always there, but I know when we're meeting, if I have something that I need to work on in supervision, they're there, and they're there for me, and we're there for one another, and we can talk about anything, and I can count on them to hold me in a contemplative space and really help me work what I need to work so that when I go back into the next spiritual direction session with someone, I can really be much more present and just get out of the way and hold that sacred space.
In the Toronto area, we have found that it's very helpful to have supervisors that have been formed in a supervision program act as facilitators, birthing new groups. And often after about 2 years, the supervisor or the facilitator can withdraw from the group and the group has its own life and form. But often a new group, if everyone's new, a facilitator can really help anchor the group.
For a couple of years and then they can carry it on themselves.
Yeah.